internship and innovator programs with us. This year, as we launch the innovation phase of the ATL Marathon 2021, we have an esteemed panel and guests with us to discuss more about the ATL Marathon and have their experience sharing with us today. We have with us today our Mission Director, ATL Innovation Mission, Dr. Chintan Vaishnav. We have with us the CEO for MyGov, who's also our official technology partner and implementation partner for the ATL Marathon 2021. We have Mr. Abhishek Singh, CEO from MyGov. We have with us one of our partners and also a partner which has been supporting us for the SIP program year on year. We have Ms. Garima Babbar from Adobe. She is the Education Initiatives Head for India and South Asia. We also have with us Mr. Mohit Dubey, who is the CEO for AIC MIT, and he is also been supporting, he along with the AIC has been supporting the SIP program for us for many years. We have with us our stakeholders and our beneficiaries, which is very special because it is them together who make the ATL Marathon very successful. We have with us a student. We have with us Vihang Vidwans, along with his mother, Mrs. Archana Vidwans. And Vihang was amongst the top 300 students in the ATL Marathon for 2020. We have with us Ms. Sarita Vijay Chandran. She is an ATL in charge, and her school has been consistently having top teams in the ATL Marathon over the past few years. We also have with us Mr. Basanta, who is a principal, and his school has had the highest number, record-breaking number of marathon entries last year, with 103 entries coming from his school. We also have with us a mentor of change from our top mentors, also a part of our exemplary mentor group, Ms. Asabari, who has been coaching and mentoring students, and they have participated in the marathon and been in winning teams. With that, and such a great panel with us and our beneficiaries, we would like to start the event today. For that, I request Dr. Chintan Vaishnav to open the session with his opening message.
Thank you, Dipali, and greetings, everybody. I have to tell you that, like how every country has the season of festivity. At ATL Innovation Mission, the ATL Tinkering Marathon is the season of festivity. And today we are launching this phase of the innovation phase, which is most exciting. As many of you know, we launched the voting phase on 14th November, the Children's Day, and today on 14th December, we're back with the launch of the innovation phase. We asked students to vote on problem statements that we had put out in 4 broad areas: education, healthcare and nutrition, energy and transportation, and social inclusion. I want to underscore one thing here, healthcare and nutrition in particular. There was an observation at the Niti Aayog that unless we do challenges around nutrition, which contributes to the growth of the brain in the first place, what is the point in helping them tinker later? So we said we will focus on nutrition also this time, with a terrific partner like MyGov. This year, we were able to create a technology platform on which we have received 3,700 votes from students all across India. And today, at the end of this session, we'll be launching the innovation phase on MyGov's platform, which will reveal the problem statements for this year's marathon, and which will allow, on the basis of these votes received, and which will allow people to then work on. Of course, every year we come to you with some exciting challenges to work on. This year being the 75th year of our independence, we need everyone, all the makers and problem solvers to come together and celebrate this momentous occasion with these major challenges that you will see on this portal listed today. Uh, Today is also very special, and you can see in the people who are on the panel today. It represents the entire ATL ecosystem. Of course, the students who innovate, the ATL in charges, without whom ATLs will not be as big a success. Their principals who support them, mentors of change who handhold these students all throughout, and of course, the parents without whom such a participation for students would be difficult. So I am really delighted that uh, uh, this ecosystem today has come together and is helping us launch this phase. Um, it's like in some ways it's like a sort of the entire jigsaw puzzle now we're able to see. So this festival, as you know, year over year has improved, and this year we are looking forward to even more entries and participation. With that, let me invite our dear friend Abhishek Singh, the CEO of MyGov, to help launch this phase and share his thoughts. Over to you, Abhishek.
Thank you, Mr. Vaishnav. It's indeed a delight to be on this. Every event of Atal Innovation Mission is always an excitement to be in, and to such a enthusiasm, and to meet the young innovators and budding entrepreneurs. It's always something that we look forward to. So thank you for doing this, and congratulations to all those innovators who have been part of the Atal Tinkering Labs Marathon. And especially excited to see Vihang and his mom, and then Ms. Aswari, the mentor, Mr. Khomudram, the principal, Ms. Sarita, ATL in charge, and our partners from Dell, Adobe, and AIC, MIT. It's indeed, as Chintan said, bringing together the all pieces that makes Atal Innovation Mission and Atal Tinkering Lab what it is today. Like bring it to the students who are the most core part of it, and the mentors and the teachers, and bringing together industry partners who would give value add to give shape to the ideas and thoughts which our innovators may have. And the whole concept of Atal Tinkering Labs Marathon, right from ideation to voting to trying to select the problem that we are going to solve, and then to thinking in the ways and means in which we can solve. My whole MyGov team is so excited always whenever we partner with Atal Innovation Mission for event, because that brings the best of young minds to our forum. And we are always looking forward to work with the Atal Innovation Mission. And last year, if I go back to last year, the ATL marathon that we did, and the innovators who came on, the final schools which were announced, the final 30 or 40 winners who were announced, the whole thing was such a high energy, high impact activity that it really helps us in realize the vision of citizen engagement also. In fact, last week we were doing the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav iconic week of Meti, and we had a contest there which were running for the last 1 year as responsible AI for youth. Under that, what we did was that we selected government school students for giving them AI lessons, and over a period of 1 year, they got 50,000 students underwent AI lessons, and then they came up with challenges that they will solve with AI. And then after several rounds of screening, the final 20 projects were awarded, and they came up with their prototypes, and they put up it in an exhibition at India Habitat Center last week. And when we looked at them, all students of government schools, like there was a girl from a government school in Balarampur in UP who had built up a AI based solution to advise his father about the crop that they should be growing and how she was doing. She had taken data sets on soil health card, data sets of from IMD weather data, and data sets of the crop history of that area. And based on that, she was able to give that advice. And this was a class ninth girl, and her father was semi-literate, and he was just following the advice of the girl, and that showed the kind of impact technology and ideas coming from the grassroots, coming from students, coming from young innovators can make in our everyday life. And then there were other solutions wherein somebody had designed a walking stick which can aid the child's grandmother who was suffering from Alzheimer's, so that it will, if he falls, an alert will go to the mobile phone of the dad. So similar solutions are being made today. So similarly, when we look at these four sectors that have been identified, whether it's healthcare or nutrition or social inclusion or education, energy, these are key issues that bothers kids. And if they're able to think of what they can do to solve these societal problems and in what ways they can contribute to making our place, the place where we live, a better place to live in, that would really lead to building the next generation of innovators, next generation of entrepreneurs. And I am sure with this kind of activities that we are doing with the Atal Innovation Mission and Atal Tinkering Labs, yeah, I'm sure we will be finding Vihang who will do something which will read in the newspapers 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And the teachers who are working with them, the mentors who are working with them, this is just building up, supporting, and creating a culture of innovation that will build solutions that we all will be, and that's what makes us today the what we are. If when we hear of people of Indian origin doing well world over, becoming CEOs of tech companies and all, where does it come from? It comes from the efforts that we put in our education system, and we put in mentoring, in guiding our young talented people, and the support that comes from the community, especially the parents and the mentors and the teachers, that would lead to helping people, kids like Vihang, go up and occupy the global space. So I congratulate Atal Innovation Mission for doing this, and congratulate all the 3,700 people who participated, who voted for identifying the solutions. And as we head into the innovation stage, this will become a more exciting phase in which we all would love to join in, love to find out what the young minds are thinking, in what ways they are trying to build solutions, and try to support them in any way which way possible. And MyGov is very proud of this relationship and this partnership, and we would do everything possible to make it and to make it successful and take it to the next phase. So I once again congratulate all of you for doing this and look forward to the launch of the innovation phase. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abhishek Singh. And you're true. You're right. This is actually the start of a journey of making great leaders for the organization, for the country, and for the world at large, and innovators in the making. We have one such innovator with us. We have Vihang with us, and along with his mother. We're going to have a different format for this because we thought it's best to hear it from the people who work very closely and are part of the marathon as part of its ideation and innovation phase. And we thought, let's have mini panels. So in today's discussion, we have a few panels to hear from different perspectives. We have an ATL student who's been amongst the top 300 teams in the last year's marathon, along with his mother. So we have a student and a parent with us. And like I said, we have a teacher, we have a mentor, and we have a principal who play a very important role in encouraging these students and in guiding them. And we have our partners who support us in actually taking these innovations and ideas forward through the internship and innovation programs that we run. So with that, let me come to Vihang. And Vihang, you've been one of the top 300 teams amongst more than 7,000 teams across the country which participated in the ATL Marathon. Tell us more so that other students who are watching this and who will be participating in the marathon this year, what really do you think marathon, and what role does marathon play for you as an innovator? And how do you prepare for it so that you, of course, winning is an important thing, but more than that, you create an impact, you create a solution that helps the society at large?
Yeah, thanks. Actually, I'm very honored to be here representing my school, the ATL of my school, to be precise. And the Atal Tinkering Lab, it definitely helps us generate new ideas. But often it so happens that once we have generated the idea, there is not enough push to bring that idea into reality. And the ATL Marathon, with its competitive spirit and the overall guidance that it provides, helps us bring our ideas in. At least it helped bring my idea into reality. And the mentors, especially in the internship program, the mentors, the guidance that they gave me about how the my hypothetical problem will translate into the real world, and what changes I need to make in my solution to come over that problem, that was really helpful for me in developing my solution. My project is Comet. It was team of 3 of us, and it is an offline examination software, because ever since the exams have moved to the online mode due to internet disruptions and lack of internet connectivity, many students from rural areas and semi-urban areas are not able to give these exams. So I have attempted to create a software which will solve that problem and help bring a remote examination to the rural areas also. And Atal Marathon really helped me bring this idea into reality, because the structure of the innovation and the entire design thinking process on which it is centered, ideation, then like brainstorming, then after that prototyping, that structure helped develop the solution further. And now the software is almost ready, and we're at least I'm trying to deploy it in local area. So ATL has definitely helped me bring ideas into reality.
Great. Thanks for sharing that, Vihang. And
Thank you.
it's wonderful to note what you have created. Very, very relevant, and something that we know that will be important in the near future. So all the best to you, and
Thank
thank
you.
you for innovating and sharing your thoughts for the other students who will be participating in the marathon this year. I'll come to you, Mrs. Archana, for your thoughts on, as a parent, we know that students need to work on multiple things. They have exams, they have multiple vocational activities, and there's increasing pressure on them. How do you, as a parent, ensure that there is this all-rounded, growth happening, and you're encouraging your child to participate in the ATL marathon? And what is that advice that you can give to other parents also for encouraging their students and enabling them towards participating in such events and competitions?
Sure. Actually, this is a very good platform that ATL Mission has created, and we are very glad that because children do think about the issues that they face and they do come up with solutions. But if this platform wasn't there, then there is no place where they can implement. And it's not always possible that they do it on their own. So, this entire ecosystem that ATL Marathon has developed is very, very essential, and it actually helps children try their ideas and put them into reality and see the impact that it creates, which is very, very encouraging. And all that you said about competitive exams, this, that, and other is true. But then, even if you get into your dream university, your dream course, actually, when you start working, team building, working in a team, taking leadership, encouraging other ideas, and having that perseverance to see an idea getting translated into real product or real project like young software, this entire life cycle from idea to an actual product is really what happens during these marathons. And this experience is a lifelong learning that children get. So that this is really unique, and I'm really glad that these children are getting this opportunity. And we see that so many products and so many relevant products, this connect with society, that otherwise each of us can very easily live in a bubble, and this, it doesn't help. What helps is being able to see, identify a problem, provide a solution to the best of your abilities, to the best of your creativity, and see the impact that it creates. When children get this opportunity through such projects, that is a lifelong experience, and that is what is going to remain with them throughout their careers, throughout their life. This societal connect is a very important facet of these kind of initiatives. And I would say, for parents who are looking or who are watching this live, I would say that don't, let's not be narrow in terms of grades and percentages and this, that, and other, because that is not what makes a career. What makes a career is your connect with the society. You are offering something that will solve or at least lessen the burden on the societal problems. That is one thing, that is our contribution to the society. And for the child, it is a very, because then you develop empathy, you develop team building spirit, you learn to work in a team. All these are soft skills. If children do not get it at this age, they'll have to enroll to a soft skills program somewhere down the line, which, why not? I mean, if they get it at, if they start doing this at school, in the school itself, it's going to be really helpful. So many advantages of participating in these competitions. So I would say, as a parent, please encourage your children to participate, because there's a whole lot of learning that happens throughout these projects. So thank you, and I really congratulate, and I hope all the many such initiatives come forward and reach millions of children in our country, so that the learning enhances and the society also benefits. So congratulations to ATL also. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Archana, and such good things that you said, and such important points for all parents to really encourage their students. One, it's a lifelong experience, very well said, and the things that you learn outside of your curriculum, which is in terms of soft skills, those are very relevant, and it will go a long way in terms of future career and connectivity with the society. So thank you for sharing that, and I also call out to all parents to, just like Mrs. Archana and many other parents who are encouraging their students to participate in such innovation challenges, please do that for your children too. With that, we'll move to the next panel that we have. We have with us Ms. Sarita Vijaychandran, who is an ATL in charge from Bhavans Vidya Mandir in Kerala. Her school has been innovating and having top innovations in the ATL Marathon consistently over the years, at least one top team from the school. Ms. Sarita, as an ATL in charge, we know that teachers play a very important and instrumental role in making that happen. With your school coming as one of the top teams every year consistently, what would be your advice to other teachers and schools in terms of nurturing such innovations and innovative teams year on year? And what is that secret sauce or your trick that has worked, or your guidance to others that could help them also in consistent performance?
Thank you. Namaste to everyone present here. There is one notion I do strongly believe in my heart, and that is that every kid is a genius at something. It is up to us as facilitators who need to find that spark and encourage them to go ahead. And that's what all the teachers at their respective schools are doing. I'm sure about it. Every venture indeed have its own share of problems and difficulties, but staying firm and focused is what gets a ball rolling. As in any collaboration, team ethic is essential for success. We accept and encourage the students to bring in that culture of change. Open communications, it ensures free expression of all the students involved. We encourage the students to work on every idea they have, whether it's small or big. So they feel a sense of belonging to the team, and that indeed is definitely a great motivation for the students. In fact, we even have something called an idea pot in our ATL lab, wherein the students write their ideas and put them in a pot served for this purpose. We also organize summer camps every year for children, wherein eminent speakers address the children on possible areas of innovation like robotics, drone technology, coding, etc. At the end of every academic sessions, we discuss what new change should be brought up in the next academic year. A lot of brainstorming sessions are held where we discuss various problems and try to come up with some innovative ideas. The birth of Smart Lavatory was a result of one such productive session, which was in the top 150 in the ATL Marathon 2019 and also in the top 30 in the She Codes Innovation Program. It has been implemented in our school's washroom with the support from ATL Innovation Mission, Dell Technologies, and Learning Link Foundation. And we are now in the process of patenting them. Switching over to the online mode was definitely challenging, which inadvertently resulted in the shortage of manpower too at times. But we focused on the team goals rather than just the amount of work that's being done. We do acknowledge the innovations and hard work put in by the students on the annual day of our school. they are rewarded for being the best ATL innovator. Now, let me also add that the strength of a good team lies on the leaders too. Our school's management, the principal, and the vice principal that hold us together at all times by providing us with encouraging ambience and facilities that inspire both students and staff alike. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sarita. I do get a part of the secret sauce, which is consistently trying to drive that, not just waiting for the marathon, but also, having, like you said, an idea box and consistently encouraging and recognizing and rewarding and showing support throughout. And you mentioned an important aspect, which is the school leadership and principals and management playing an important role. For that, let me come to Mr. Basanta, who is a principal of a school and he also is from a school which had the highest record-breaking number of marathon entries in last year's marathon, over 100 marathon entries coming from your school, Mr. Basanta. I'm sure there are so many unique challenges that come with each region and with each community. How has your school overcome them, and what is your advice to some of the other principals and management teams in terms of marathon and encouraging their students and on achieving what you've achieved? You're on mute, Mr. Basanta.
Thank you very much. I'm so delighted to be with the very panelists, our mission director and the CEO, and especially I have seen here Garima Babar Madam. Last time that we walked together in the 2019, basically we launched our ATL in our school in the year 2019, 31st August. Since the launching of the ATL in our school, we organized very small exhibition here with the help of some people who understand, especially that electronics, who have already completed their MTech and others. Our school, in the beginning, our mentors, we are not having the mentors as of now. From the ATL, I mean that one from the ATL side, some people, I have to say that one, they have been assigned as a mentor, but we didn't have even a single chance to have talk with them. Also, we didn't have any chance to work with them because of this, some other reasons. Then we hug little, we emphasize more how to just follow the things which are given in the guidelines published by our this one ATL Innovation Mission. So we follow them. Then ultimately we started our journey. Then in 2019, our school was also one of the top 15 and among the 30 top schools. Very unluckily in 2020, though we broke the record, just projecting that giving more efforts to put off, to say, giving the more projects, more than 100 numbers, we were not able to include among the top ones. So that was very unlucky chapter. In the meantime, that was the general scenario, having that lockdown throughout the state, particularly in our Manipur. Still, lockdown is going on. Schools are not allowed to open except 9 and 10, 11 and 12. How I was working with my ATL in charges and some of the people who are working in the NIT, I request them to come on the online mode, and we just work in the day and the night. I have to say, in the daytime, the school class was going on, At the night time, just I request the person who is doing their PhD in the NIT, then I just met a way to meet our children and the people who are working, in this the field. So ultimately, we just encourage the children. Sometimes we need to make all the parents aware of the scenario, what the changing is coming up. So sometimes we find a lot of the difficulties to make the parents understand what the child is, what the children are going to do. Because this is especially my school is in the very remote areas. So sometimes we need to take lot of what I have to say virtual meeting with the parents to make understand. So these are the things what your child have to do, and your child have to do like that. Now the thing is, children have accustomed and now they are habituated to just handle their smartphones, just playing something or like that. So in order to deviate from that one, now when we introduce such type of the challenging things that will be beneficial for us, that will be beneficial for our society, and one day or other day, once they just comes up with just a very innovative ideas, and if they can implement, then that will be very good for our humanities. So such type of the things I just initiated to work along with the parents, and the parents started to inform their children again. Then along with that line, we started. So because of that reason, our adult tinkering in SARS was taking a lot of the pain, just informing by phone, because students were unable to come to the school, because most of the school were engaged as a quarantine center, that isolation center. So it was very quite impossible to come with. So coming to that innovation part, sometimes we like to have a very good mentors to guide us in a very way, so that at the level of that the competition they can come up. Then even then I just said this year also, this 2020, children were saying to me that, sir, we just saying more than 100, but we were not selected. I just said, don't be disappointed. So this is the thing, whenever we have that many challenges, one day or other day, just like in the 2018 and the 19, 2021 will be yours and 2000 will be ours. Why we should not do? When we are having more chances of exposure, definitely we will be able to come up. Definitely we will get. So this is the thing I'm just giving them. And this year also, we are planning to do more. And this time I have initiated our principal who are having that ATL tinkering labs in Manipur. Recently we had a meeting. I just initiated, let us do some collaboration among us, so that not only from our school, from your school also, some students, 4 or 5, 10 students are just coming up and they are also taking part. So why most of the students can join and can participate all these things if we collaborate together. So we have already unanimously decided, and day after tomorrow we will hold a meeting particularly on this in this regard, and I will convey the same, and some of them my friend might have watch and might be joining here also in the live stream. I already invited them also to join it, so that even the student as well as the parent and the mentors, and before me also one of the good school that throughout the years, the job in the ATL Marathon, what they are saying, what the men said, and then they might have also heard it. Now I'm going to focus in this area. Definitely we will do that. And I invite all the principals, particularly in Manipur. Now we are having some problem. We know that one connection problem. Even today also, I was having some connection problem. I was taking help from Sweta ma'am also, even today also. So these are the challenges. It happens everywhere. So we have to come up all these things. So this is my belief, and this is my principle. And along with this one, we will work. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Basanta. And thank you for playing the role of an ambassador in the region. That's our request and expectation from all ATL principals, management teams to play that role in the region. Invite other schools also to participate along with your teams in the ATL Marathon. And with that, and you mentioned a few times the role of a mentor and how important it is in terms of driving and guiding students in their innovation journey. So with that, let me call on Ms. Asavari Shiposkar, who is a top mentor with us as a mentor of change and has been mentoring teams consistently over the years. Ms. Asavari, please share with us your thoughts on how, what is the role that a mentor can play in guiding students as part of the marathon? And more specifically on how, because mentors come with a lot of experience and wonderful, great experience, but how can they translate that into something that is understandable for the students and children, and they're able to create prototypes with that kind of guidance? Over to you for your thoughts.
Thank you, Dipali. And before starting, I just want to tell Mr. Basanta, if you need any help, I am there. So please call. I will be help your students also.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I will do definitely.
Yeah, and again, I will thank Team AIM because giving me this wonderful opportunity to work with this young innovator. So that is very important for me, and I really enjoy it. It's a wonderful experience to working with them. And this is a good initiative to bridge the gap between academic and industry, because we are always talking about there is a gap in academic and industry, and this ATL Marathon is very good initiative. And definitely when they are developing a prototype products and all these things, they learn all the industry aspect. I know that for students, it's very difficult to understand that concept, but we can simplify that, the process we can simplify, we can explain them. And the good thing is that the students are very techno savvy. They understand technology quickly as compared to the teachers. So I am very happy to work with even I like to work with the students because they understand the process. Only we need to tell them the steps, what they have to follow, what industry expect when they are developing a product and all these things. That is how to consider the environmental factor, how to consider the cost, safety, security, all these aspects we need to tell them when they are developing a prototype and when they are developing the product. If the technology is not available or some resources are not available, so what exactly we need to find out the solution within the resources which is available. Don't wait for that. If the one sensor is not there, so then what to do? Okay, so find out the other solution. So they need a triggering sense. We just need to give them the hint. That is okay, this hint if we give, and I know that next time they will come with the solution. I only guide them, I only with them. What student expect from any mentor is that they want to understand their pain point and be with them. And even teacher and parents, what they want is that their child is in a safe hand, first thing, and their child will focus both the activity in a balanced way. So as a mentor, we need to guide them. That is okay, you have to balance the both the thing. I always tell them, first you finish the study and then contact me, then only I will help you. I will always ask them, have you finished the study? Okay, then. Even 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, they call me because they are very impatient, because they got a solution and they have to tell me that this is the solution, ma'am, how it will work. So they call me at 11 o'clock also. I said, okay, I'm ready. But first you finish your study and then call me. I'm there with you. So only they need that somebody is there with you, somebody is watching. I told them that that is you have to describe an ocean with a single drop of its water. So study, research, find out the information which is available, who has already worked on this, study it. Don't directly jump to the idea, because they are having the habit of jumping directly to the solution without reading, without doing that. So that guidance we need to, because in industry we follow that steps. The documentation is important. So how to write that documentation? So by giving the simple examples, I always tell them that when you are walking first time, so what is required is that you always see that somebody is watching or not. So we are there, we are watching you. If you fail, we are there, but at least you try. And they do, means literally I see that they are continuously working on that. They are coming with the different and wonderful ideas. Only we need that to the selection of technology. If the microcontroller is not available, what else they can use? So that sort of only the hint is needed. No solution, nothing. Only that they need a hint or somebody is there. That much only the mentorship is needed with the students. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Asavari, and thank you for guiding students. Yes, they just need some direction and some guidance, and being there as a mentor, that makes a whole lot of difference. So it's a call out to all mentors of change. You may not be a mentor of change, but you are interested in mentoring students. Come forward, guide students through the ATL Marathon, and help them in their journey of becoming a top innovator. With that, Ms. Asavri, you mentioned the industry connect and the very important connect between industry and academia. And for that, we have our esteemed partners, and we have one such partner with us. We have Adobe, and we have Ms. Garima from Adobe with us. Adobe has been supporting the SIP program, which is the Student Innovator Program and the Student Internship Program, which is offered to the top teams of the ATL Marathon every year. And these teams go through a rigorous 2 to 3 weeks program where they learn skills and take their ideas to the next level with the help of experts from the mentor community as well as the industry organization partnerships that we have in our incubation centers. So, Ms. Garima, you've, along with the Adobe team, have been supporting the SIP program for a few years now. What, according to you, are some of those attributes and skills that need to be developed for a student to become a top innovator, in your opinion?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dipali. It's truly an honor and privilege to be here amongst all of you. And I'm today representing all the mentors of Adobe who've been participating joyfully in this program to the extent that, every time it's, July or August, they'll start pinging me, hey, when are we launching the ATL Marathon? When are the students coming to Adobe? Though it is virtual, but they are so eagerly looking forward. And towards the end of the program, it's like we almost, or everyone, or all of us, have almost tears in our eyes, their studies, and of course, continue tinkering all across. So yes, this program is very close to personally my heart, because I truly, truly believe in mentoring students, and because students of today are job creators of tomorrow. But at the same time, it's a complete group, complete team of Adobe employees who come forward, volunteer their time along with leaders. And that's the kind of energy, passion, and enthusiasm that we bring in, so that the students feel that whatever projects that they have created, and of course, all the teams are winners. The very fact that they are here today, they are contributing, they've created a project, definitely kudos to them. And, I'm so touched by Vihang and his mom. First of all, Archana ji, many, many congratulations. आपके हार्ड वर्क और आपकी डेडिकेशन से विहांग यहाँ पर हैं. And Vihang, this is not the end. You have to take this forward and continue tinkering, continue creating more projects, and we want to see you rise and shine.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Most welcome. And I think all these students, we've been mentoring these students, and the brilliant problem statements, the themes, and the way they present across, and that's a unique combination of technology and their contribution to the community. And let me take a step back. Right from the time these themes are decided for the students, by the students, and then of course the students create projects, submit the projects, I think that's almost about 6 months of time. The amount of teamwork, collaboration, creativity, ideas, and I'm sure they all tussle, and they all come forward with their ideas. They all go back, they have to destroy certain ideas, come back with more innovative approaches. And that is what is a life teaching lesson for all the students. And I truly, truly want more and more schools. I know there are already plenty of schools who are already participating, but considering the demographics that we have in India and the amount of and so many schools, I encourage all the students to come forward and take part in this unique opportunity. In Adobe, we have a very, very beautiful, I would say that everyone has a story to tell. And we always talk about creativity. And this is one of the things that Adobe is synonymous of creativity. And when I look at the mission of ATL Innovation Mission, ATL Tinkering Labs, and I feel that it's a perfect marriage between the two organizations where our tools, our creative tools are able to contribute to various ideas, tinkering projects of the students. And being a partner does not, of course, mean that we have to only restrict ourselves to students. We've also been training teachers as Adobe Creative Educators so that when they learn the tips and tricks of creativity using tools, they will be able to encourage students to use creativity, whether it is their school projects, whether it is their various ideas or the projects that they have to submit as a part of ATL Marathon. So those are certain ways. And I feel as far as your question is concerned regarding skills, I think these small steps definitely help students build their communication, creativity, critical thinking, and of course, that leads to employability skills and even entrepreneurship in the near future. So don't stop tinkering here. I know your projects are great, but continue on the journey. You guys are doing really well. This is not just an encouragement for Vihang. Vihang is a role model for all the students out there, but we want to see more Vihangs coming up. So my sincere compliments to Vihang, you and your mother, and many congratulations to the entire ATL team, Ronak, Dipali, Dr. Vaishnav, and Mr. Singh. And I look forward to contributing more on this platform.
Thank you so much, Ms. Garima. And yes, thank you for that encouragement and the support that Adobe has been giving us through the years in helping students take their innovations forward with the Student Innovator and internship programs. With that, we have another partner and more like family with us, which is from the ATL Incubation Center. Dr. Mohit Dubey is here with us, who's the CEO. And AIC MIT has been conducting the Student Innovator program for us for several years now. Dr. Mohit, you've been involved in this program with us and supporting us for many years. How do you see the change in the type of top teams that are coming up now? And how has the student thought process changed, evolved over the years as we've grown in terms of our ecosystem, as we've grown in terms of our program and our initiatives? How do you see that change happening over the years?
Deepali, and I'm hoping I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible.
All right, thanks, Deepali. Namaskar to everyone. I think I like the word that when you used called the family. That's what the power of this country is, that we start treating people like our own family members. And in the AIM family, it starts from the right at the top, where be it Mr. Ramlan or I see our current head of this family, doting around the country, meeting these youngsters, going around talking to people. So that whole empathy factor that stems right from the leadership, be it from Mr. Ramnan or Professor Chintan Vaishnav, it trickles down to every leader of this whole value chain that we see. Two young members that I definitely want to call out. Ronak, who's our Jugalu mechanical engineer, but he's always up for anything that you talk to him. And Naba Surul, there was a school in Sambal where I wanted to get a connect. I know a kid which was like really coming from a very poor background, and I requested Naba, can you please help him get along with that ATL? And she went out of her way and then kind of connected this kid, which was not related to me directly, because I come from that background. So I had this whole empathy factor wherein the kid who is surrounded by these wonderful creations called ATLs, this kid needs to be in that center. So both of these young family members completes this whole sort of ecosystem of the family that we are trying to put together. Moving on to, you asked about the SIP program. And I think we probably, when this whole idea came to me about, participating in the SIP program, as a family, again, when I looked at helping something to create this whole battery of young kids in the country, that was more exciting than actually working on the incubator center, which is more of the following the policies and getting the compliances out there. So I think we took upon that as a challenge upon ourselves, because we're also a university-backed incubator. So the whole thought process is, if these young kids who are in the school grades can come up with some projects, some ideas, which can also be challenging to a lot of these college students, in the higher education space, how good that would be. And I was very, very super proud to invite the vice chancellor of this university during our first offline SIP program, wherein I invited the vice chancellor and mentioned to him that while we are the institution of higher education as a university, the first PCB was designed and fabricated by an 8th grader, which happened to come through the SIP program. That was back in 2019. So that's the kind of inspiration that I kind of felt when I started working with them. And all of a sudden in 2020, when we were faced with this whole health crisis, again, I dipped into this whole family network of AIM. I took an inspiration from a program of leadership building called AIM ICREST. Right? So I said, well, if the leaders or the CEOs of these incubators can be trained online in this hand-holded platform of around 8 to 10 weeks, that's when I said, last year when we were doing it in an offline fashion, we could do it in straight 5 days. But if we have to do this into an online world, let me take this leaf out of that book of AIM ICREST program, and I kind of redesigned this whole thing into 10 weeks of program. And what I also noticed was a key factor when we moved to online, was that the structure of this program had to change significantly. Let me just bring 3 facets to what we kind of did in that kind of a redesigning of that offline to online. First and foremost, I said these kids needs to be associated with the mentors of our own incubator center. So the people who were doing their startups as incubator at my incubator center, I made sure that the founders of these startups get assigned to each of these teams, so that, they are not listening that they're actually working with the person who is doing this day in, day out when he's building his own venture. So that whole experiential part was one unique element that I wanted to bake into this whole program. Second aspect that I kind of understood while talking to a lot of these kids was that these kids or these teams belong to different parts of the country. Right? The challenge becomes the language. Me coming from REC Surat, the background of regional engineering college, I could boast of that I have a friend in every state of this country because I come from that background. So I made sure that the mentor that was assigned to each of these teams spoke their language. So I said the kids don't have to learn English language to innovate. When I took a design thinking session to a school which is based out of Chhattisgarh, वहां पर वो जो टीचर थे उन्होंने बोला मेरे को कि सर पहली बार किसी ने डिजाइन थिंकिंग मुझे भोजपुरी में समझाया है. So I think that's the power of local language of this country that we can bring on to these kind of programs while we are trying to curate this whole new model of online kind of thing, right? So the second layer that I brought into this was choosing these individual mentors who are the practitioners also speak the same language of these kids. So I chose a AIC mentor who spoke Marathi. I chose a AIC mentor who spoke Telugu. I chose the AIC mentor who spoke the different languages. So I think the third layer that I kind of baked into this whole thing was a concept of super mentor. Right, in our AIM ICREST program, we had these, one of our sessions with our super mentors, where some of the other leader would come in and then talk to these AIC CEOs. So I spoke to my friends from the industry who are at the CXO level. I said the aspiration for these small kids from these schools, if me and you, who are operating at a global level and at the CXO level, can at least talk to these kids once in a week, that's a humongous value add to them. Not just to these kids, but to their parents, but to their teachers, but to their principals, and to the owners of these schools. Because when I spoke to them, their biggest aspiration was, sir, हम projects तो शुरू करते हैं, support होता है, लेकिन बच्चे छोड़ देते हैं. मैंने कहा, if you get to speak, interact one-on-one with the leader of this country, who is heading one of the bigger organizations of this country, would that be a possible solution to elevate this whole aspirational value among these kids and your school teachers? So we did kind of blended all those things to change the nature of the whole SIP program, and I'm very proud to say that all those small interventions, now I don't have to tell anybody what the SIP program is looking like, but those players who participated in these kind of things. So a lot of my startups, when they go out and present, they kind of add this in their resume that I've mentored 2 of the startups from ATL Tinkering Lab program. Kind of. My corporate friends, when they reach out to their management, they kind of say that we have been part of this whole world's largest program, where Dr. Dubey invited us to talk to these kids, which are very phenomenal. So that's on the SIP program perspective. You touched upon the changing nature of the top teams that are coming out year after year. Let me just say 2 to 3 things on that. I could have never imagined when I was a school student in this country or wherever. I've traveled across the globe, so I can say with this, it's a little bit of confidence that the kids of this country, the way they are, approaching this whole program, are very socially committed. They are looking at solving the problems which actually make the society a better place, right? So that whole sense of belongingness to solve the problem, which actually changes the social fabric of the community, is pretty humongous and pretty phenomenal. They also come with a mindset of helping the people, right? So that whole community building element is what I can see among the kids that are coming as part of these teams. The peculiar thing that I kind of noticed over the period for these teams are these kids are kind of blank slate in terms of they don't come and talk to me about sir fund kab uthega. They don't come and talk to me ki sir oh main kab IPO mein jaunga. The best thing that I talk to these kids, which inspires me, is that they're only focused to solve a problem which is either design-led innovation or technology-led innovation. They will tell me, sir, ye Raspberry Pi nahi chal raha hai. How do I bake in the architecture to build this as an AI engine? And I'm very excited being a technology guy coming from a lot of background, that when you work on solving the problems which are design-led innovations or technology-led innovations, first you create the value out of the solutions and the valuations would follow. So that whole battle that I have to do with the grown-ups, that forget about the money part first. First create the value, and we'll figure out how to get the valuations attached to your whole journey. So those are the changes that I've seen over the period of time that these teams bring onto the table as we go along this whole journey. That's why I propose a kind of an idea with our management here internally in the university, that at every state level, if we are kind of the flag bearer or the torch bearers, then we look at something like an Avishkar Sankalp Yatra, wherein, for example, in Maharashtra, I said 36 districts, right? If you spend one day in each district as a university, so look at from a perspective of university's social responsibility. Don't just depend upon the corporate social responsibility, because we'll be able to reach out to these kids, inspire them through these Avishkar Sankalp Yatras, and can inspire a lot of these kids to take up entrepreneurship as a career choice, rather than saying कि मेरे को एक 1 CR का CTC मिल जाएगा by working. Okay. So that's the prime change that I have seen over the period of time. You also touched upon the change in the mindset of these students, and I'm very proud to say that one thing that kind of was killed in this whole formal education system, because we kind of went to IITs and IITs, world-based organization, was that curiosity to ask the stupid questions. When I was in States, I used to love this character called Curious George. It's a monkey. My daughter used to love that character because it always used to ask stupid questions, right? And when I looked at these monkeys of our country, I was, so inspired to see that these kids, when they come up, they are asking these kind of stupid questions that we kind of forgot to get them asking. Now, so the mindset change that you can ask these questions on these kind of platforms in a very open, candid kind of platform and without being judged, right? Because these are small platforms where you ask any question, you will not be judged because the other kid is also like you. While these are small groups, I think that one feature of asking the questions without having a fear in mind is a phenomenal change in the mindset of these kids. A second element that I saw the change in the mindset of these kids is about dreaming big, right? I reached out to Manglesh, I reached out to some other people because this is the way I can see the mother and a kid of 9th grader sitting here. I faced that situation when I joined as an employee number 1 here in this incubator, where a mom and a kid came and he said that this kid is trying to build an exosuit for a body by looking at an Iron Man movie. But he's not studying, he's not good in studies. I took that upon me to tell that mom, don't waste his time because he's not fit for the studies. He will fail in the regular exams, but he'll do wonders if we work with this kid. Right now, because he was 16, 17-year-old, I could not start a formal structure as a startup. So I made her mom the director of that company and got it registered. Now, a lot of companies, we have presented a solution to DRDO. They are more than excited to deploy that. He recently presented to the general commander here at CME in Pune. He was excited about that solution. So the passion to work with these kids, I mean, we are the roadblocks. That's what I have learned by working with these kids. If we just let them, work on their energy, if we can get them the streamlined fashion of where it needs to go, and they will do wonders. We don't have to wait for the Elon Musks of the US or the Greta Thunbergs to show us the way. I think we can have our own Behance to lead the world. So that's the change in the mindset that I have seen over the period of time. Because when I mentored an 8th grader, which was sent to the World Bank's hackathon at Washington, D.C., when he came back, he wrote a book which was an Amazon bestseller. He's still in the 9th grade. He wrote a book called Act Now or Lose. It's about the kids' take on 17 SDGs as viewed from the frame of a 9th grader. And he was part of the world's hackathon, World Hackathon. So when you allow these kids, when you streamline these kids, when you give them the power of dreaming big, I think they'll do a great service to this nation. And while we will be 20 years down the line, when we will be thinking, in the hindsight, when the world was going through the severe crisis the humanity has ever faced, we were actually not building the startups, we were not actually building the ventures, but we were investing our time to build the kids of this country who would eventually come out after 20 years and lead the world and not just create the solutions for the country, but for the world. So I'm very hopeful for these kind of programs, and I'm very passionate to make an intervention. And I talk to my corporate friends, to my policymaker friends, that if we are able to get out of their ways, I mean, they think much ahead than all of us. So if I can, give them the dream that, you can be at the top of the world, don't underestimate the power of the ecosystem that is being created in this country. You don't have to look at Israel or Australian ecosystem or UK ecosystem. You can make it possible right here under the AIM umbrella with this family that you called out nicely as AIM family. So once again, thank you and congratulations, Vihan, and to your mom for aspiring to be part of this, and wish you success that we all together can serve you better in our journey to boast upon ourselves 20 years down the line that we created human beings which could rule the world and not the startups. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mohit. And it was indeed encouraging to hear your words, and encouraging for us that how you've seen the teams evolve, their thought process evolve over the years, and how you've supported and innovated the SIB program with the needs of the students and the current times. And we look forward to another round of successful SIPs and student teams coming out of it successfully with this marathon 2021. So it's a call out to all students to encourage them to participate in the ATL Marathon. Your journey doesn't end with the marathon, your journey moves forward. It's the starting point of your innovation journey. When you get mentoring by organizations such as Adobe and incubation centers such as AICMIT, and the mentoring and teachers and the principal support, as well as the parents coming forward, it will be indeed an enjoyable journey for you. So with that, I would request Mr. Abhishek Singh from MyGov, CEO MyGov, for his closing thoughts. Before we move on to the official launch of the ATL Marathon 2021, we'd like to hear your thoughts as our implementation and technology partner for the Marathon 2021.
it was so engrossing to listen to the key stakeholders. In fact, the real stakeholders who are making it happen. MyGov is just a platform which is bringing everyone together, but really inspired to hear Vihang's mom, then Mr. Basanta, then Ashwari, and what Mr. Basanta said and what Ashwari responded clearly shows how the entire ecosystem is so responsive and so always keen to connect and try to bring together the best of what we have to help the young kids like Vihang. So Vihang is representing the large ecosystem of students all over, and the entire onus lies on you. We are all there to enable the innovation ecosystem. We are all there to support you. We are all there to stand behind you, and we are all there. We're all there to clap for you when you achieve what you have sought to achieve. And the four verticals are solutions for which whole of India would be looking forward to. And like a marathon, like what you do in a marathon, it requires everything that you have. It requires training, it requires strength, it requires perseverance, it requires in and most requires a firm belief in yourself. It like 42 kilometers seems to be long that we won't be able to do. But with the right support, with the right training, with the right coaches, with the right mentors, and the right teachers, and support from parents, I'm sure you all will be able to do it. So now the time has begun for the innovation phase, and we look forward to working with you and the entire support system of Atal Innovation Mission in helping you reach your objectives. So the MyGov platform is almost ready. It will be live, and if there are any technical glitches, of course, my team will be on the standby to respond to it. But yes, we look forward to a happy next few days in which we get the bright budding ideas to come from all over. All the best.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abhishek Singh, and thank you for those encouraging words and for the support with the technology for the marathon this year. With that, I'll hand it over to Swati Rao from the ATL team, who will be helping us see how you can participate in the ATL Marathon and walk us through the portal.
Hello. Thank you so much, Dipali, and thank you to all our panelists here for your time, and to all the students, teachers, mentors watching us live on YouTube. This is what you've been waiting for with bated breath. So without further ado, let me share my screen and show you how you can access the final selected problem statements. This is the Atal Innovation Mission website, as you can see, aim.gov.in. Just log in, just go to this website, and the first blue banner that you see is for the marathon. As soon as you click on it, you'll be navigated to this page, which is on the MyGov website for the ATL Marathon 2021. You'll find details about this competition along with the themes, and these are our final problem statements. There are some participation guidelines. Please read them carefully before you submit your idea and entry. The last date is 6th March 2022. However, we urge you to not wait till the last minute. Submit your ideas and prototypes as soon as you can. And to all the schools, we request at least 5 ideas from each and every Atal Tinkering Lab. The more, the better. And schools that submit the maximum number of innovations will be awarded with special certificates and recognitions. So to submit, after you go through the details to submit your idea, click on this link and you'll be navigated to a page which will look like this. It is available in English and Hindi. The first question is, do you have an Atal Tinkering Lab? It is open to those who don't have an Atal Tinkering Lab. However, you will have to team up with a student from an ATL. So as whatever applies to your school, please click on that and move ahead. Fill in all the details very carefully, including your contact details. So once again, we are looking forward from the Atal Innovation Mission team, looking forward to receiving all your applications and all your innovative prototypes. Thank you so much, and we wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much to all the guests who joined us today for this discussion. Thank you to all the students and to all the participants watching us for this session today. A final request and call out to all students to participate in this ATL Marathon 2021. Lots of exciting learning opportunities await you, exciting recognition awaits you, and more interesting programs follow on from the marathon. So stay tuned. We'll be coming to you with more details, updates, and workshops and sessions as we proceed into the months of the marathon before the last date. We will have more YouTube lives for you. If you have any questions, queries, write to us, and do reach out to your teachers and mentors for any support that you need. With that, we'll close the session, and we look forward to maximum participations in this year. Last year, we had 10x of our participation. We had more than 7,000 entries, and hence we had more than the usual number of teams because we had so many entries. This year, again, we invite all students to participate, and let's take that number to another record high with more and more entries coming in. And this will be a great learning journey for you. We can promise you that much. Thank you so much to everyone for joining us for this session
Thank you.
today.
All the best.
And we'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.